What's good? Back with another video. Thank you for everyone who checked out Raider Joe's live last night. I went in there. We had a fun time. Thank you for linking our we got someone here. Thank you for putting my link in the bio. We actually gained 6 extra subscribers just from being on your show. Shout out to you, man. All the way. Shout out to you. Continue growing. You have 300 subscribers. You're going to continue growing. But today is a free agency frenzy show where we will just talk about free agency in general. Got a lot. I mean, we got a lot we can mention tonight. So, fan interaction will be nice. But, if y'all want, you guys can go check out. You guys can actually. Can I do this? Let me see. If y'all want, you can actually come up into StreamYard and actually join us for this. Click the link. It's in the chat. But yeah, tonight we got Sebastian actually. Perfect timing, actually. Sebastian.
Hello.
What's up, man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. Actually, I think I like this layout better with this. Oh, that's definitely not what I'm like. Where's the one we were using last time? Where all of our screen was kind of like corrected. The fuck?
Yeah, that was it.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Anyways,
this one works.
Tonight, we'll be really talking free agency. So honestly, what teams are set up the best? That's our first question of the day. If you want to talk about teams that are actually set up to succeed in this free agency. If you want to mention teams that are ready to succeed this free agency, how about we mention the Jags? I think the Jags are perfectly set up to succeed. They got a Super Bowl winning coach. They got $70 million. They got the number 2 pick in this draft. What other teams can really be mentioned? Oh, yeah, number one.
The first pick.
And they got a franchise quarterback moving forward. Can't really say outside of that what they have, but what other teams you guys believe have the future set up pretty nicely?
I'm going to be kind of biased here, but I'm going to say the Raiders.
I actually agree with you, right? The hiring of Patrick Graham was perfect, right? I liked the hiring from the start, and I really heard all this noise about Desai, right? And we were all like, okay, Desai. And I even said this on stream. Maybe I can go back and say, hey, I actually don't agree with myself anymore. Where I said his name was written in stone to become the Raiders' next defense coordinator. I was wrong, guys. I was wrong. It was Patrick Graham. Love the hiring. I did. Now, only thing next to really do is hire. I wish we could. I really do wish we could get Rich Bisaccia back, but I don't know if he does come back. That'd be perfect. I think we'd have. One of the best staffs in the NFL. But to be honest, I think we're getting Joe Judge as special teams. He's been a really good special teams coordinator, so we'll see.
Yeah, and then we need an OC as well. Offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I agree. Who's that going to be? I don't really know. We'll see. But moving forward, I mean, you could even say the 49ers are really set up. They got some money for agency, but they also got for them, they got their franchise wide receiver core. They got a franchise defense that's been really good, and they got some really young corners going on over there. So we'll see how they are. I think they're probably going to go back to the NFC Championship next year with a better quarterback in my mind. I think that Trey Lance is going to be better.
Here's one more team I want to bring up who could be set up for free agency. That would be the Cincinnati Bengals. They have $55 million in cap. They're at least in the Super Bowl this year. They'll have their coaching staff retained. Plenty of young pieces that they can continue to build around, and then use this year to potentially bring in more veterans to maybe help sustain them as a good team and perhaps get them back into the playoffs next year. I mean, it'll be a different NFC North, I think, especially with Ravens being healthy and perhaps a better
if they can stay healthy. But
that's big.
So with all the room, with all the sorry, with the draft setup, do you guys believe the rumors saying that the Lions might actually trade the second overall pick? I mean, it would be interesting to say the least of what they do with that pick. I really don't know who I think I don't know what they're going to trade for, but they are another team that's kind of high on Malik Willis. So we'll see. I mean, personally, I think that they should honestly trade back and then get themselves a franchise wide receiver and then even maybe solidifying that. I mean, this is actually something I've talked about in the past. Maybe going to get their franchise quarterback for the next 4 or 5 years, who I still believe is an elite quarterback. I think Russell Wilson, if you trade him, I know this is a free agent to be special, I think he should go to the Lions. Just saying. Because seriously, what I'm going to say this about the Lions, right, is look past what their schedule looked like. Look past their record. Because I think they're a good team. They got Amon St. Brown. They got TJ Hawkinson. They got, and imagine Russell Wilson with Amon St. Brown and maybe like I don't know. It depends on what they do in free agency and the draft, but that would be pretty good to see what that future looks like over there.
Oh, yeah. And they need a new offensive coordinator, if I'm not mistaken. So if they nail that hiring, then – and don't forget they also have DeAndre Swift at running back, so possibilities are endless, especially if they get Russell Wilson.
Agreed.
I mean, like,
also,
if Russ is traded, I really want to see him on the Lions because imagine him. You got your franchise running back in the future for DeAndre Swift. You got your future tight end, TJ Hawkinson. You got that old line buffed up. It's better than the Seattle Seahawks. You got
for sure.
Past that, you got even TJ Hawkinson, Amon St. Brown, and then anyone that they decide to bring in free agency. I really think they should go get Drake London. I really do. I think they should go trade back, get like a Drake London, and then pair him with Amon St. Brown. Imagine that offense, though. I think that if they nail the offense coordinator hard, that will be the perfect spot for Russell Wilson. That's just a thought that needs to come up because if he is traded, I think that's the best place for him. He wants to go to a team with an old line, and you can build around him. He's 31. He was elite when he was healthy. I don't want to hear all that nonsense about the Seattle Seahawks sucking. He was still elite.
Yeah, that's true. I agree.
There was a line nonsense. There was a line nonsense put behind his name, like, "Oh, was he finally hit by regression?" No, he was injured. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm putting this out there. That the Eagles, they would not have made the playoffs if Russell Wilson never got injured. It would have been Seattle. Seattle would have made.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, they win more games with Russell Wilson.
They were 2 games out of the playoffs, and are you telling me they can't go beat the Saints? They can't go beat the Steelers. They can't beat the Rams once. No, you're wrong. They were a playoff team, and they were.
But Geno Smith.
On to the next guy, because we want to just continue going with free agents, right? Because let me just look at this, right? Because do we think what do we think about the Bucs? Like, as in terms of will they lose Chris Godwin? Because
yes,
he got a torn ACL, right? And do you guys believe that he's gone from Tampa Bay?
Yes.
Okay. What about Rob Gronkowski? You guys believe he's gone?
He might retire.
Possibility considering Tom Brady's retired, so Gronk could either potentially go back into retirement or maybe reunite with a former particular coach. Wink, wink.
Okay. You want to mention that? You want to put it out there? Would the Raiders go and get him? Would the Raiders go get him? I believe if he's offered, he would possibly go. But I'm not saying he won't. Will the Bucs lose Leonard Fournette?
No. He would resign with the Bucs.
Yep. Okay.
I think they'll get him back fairly cheap. I think
the Bucs roster is still good, but we'll see what happens in free agency because they're low on money, so we'll see. Just thinking potential free agents we want to even mention here? And you guys
Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson. I'm going to make a lot of clips for you, Washington, to post in the next 5 days. 4 days.
That'd be fun.
For real.
Because you can post one tonight if you wanted, or actually tomorrow morning, which is Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. I'm going to make another clip for that. But, okay, how about this question? This is for really Sebastian, but both of us can answer this. Would you be okay if the Raiders went out and just signed Allen Robinson and Brandon Cooks at wide receiver?
Yes, I'd be fine with that.
I think that would be a really great trio. You got to think about this. You have one of the best route runners in the game in Hunter Renfrow. You have a big body receiver who can easily go get you 1,000 yards. And you have a guy that can make a few missed tackles there and there. And he's a really great he's a really great wide receiver with great hands for the ball, and he's really good. So we'll see. I would love that wide receiver trio. And then I would really love for the Raiders to go get another big body tight end to pair next to Waller and Gronk. So we'll see what they do this free agency, which it'll be interesting. But I would love that offense. And Jacobs and Drake.
Yeah. Yeah. We could get David Njoku from the Browns. He would be a nice tight end to add.
You could even go after like an Evan Ingram if you want to fix up. You can fix up his hand issue. His drop issues. It's an easy fix if he's actually developed right. But I would like David Njoku. What about Deshaun Watson? Because we all seen these rumors, right? Like, okay, say he's cleared up, right? Because let's be honest, I think the Texans finally are actually a believer in keeping Davis Mills wrong. And since he's only 21, he's a really good young guy. What do they do with Watson? Because I know they want to trade him and get some assets. Where does he go?
He could go to the Giants. I could see that.
It depends. Like, you have to look at teams with a lot of salary cap space, and you'll have to think about teams with coaches he would potentially like to go to. Like Brian Flores, I'm not entirely certain he's gonna get a head coaching job this year, but
we'll see.
That would have been the obvious call if Brian Flores were to get a head coaching job, unless there were salary cap issues there.
Yeah,
I was thinking if it weren't for salary cap issues, the Saints potentially could.
Yeah.
The Saints.
But salary cap issues. That's a big issue.
That hinders it right there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the Saints, actually, while we're on this topic, because we really love to just wrap around in these topics and get somewhere, right? 1 second.
Who you want for your free agents?
Well, let's see. Washington's probably going to be doing a lot of re-signing and extending first, and most likely we'll be bringing back J.D. McKissick, Bobby McCain, and probably extending Terry in the offseason. So I think those will be our first things. And then getting a quarterback, I don't know. There are two factors that really get me when it comes to quarterback. If they go the veteran route, I think it's more of a question of how much would they be willing to give up, and if that veteran quarterback would want to come to Washington.
I really think if you're talking about, I really think if you're talking about a perfect fit for the team, I think really got to go mention like Mitchell Trubisky. I think he would be a good fit.
Trubisky, yeah, he would be nice.
And then they could probably draft a.
Yeah.
Corral.
He's got to do something.
They can draft a successor as well with him as well, and he can be a potential
great
bridge quarterback for them.
Yeah. But like I said,
for sure.
So with the Saints, actually, there was a report coming out that they were actually looking at Eric Bieniemy. I was like, okay, that's interesting, all, but I don't think they're going to do it. I don't know. I think they're gonna hire Eric Bieniemy because I really think that'd be something that happens
That would transform their offense right there.
It would. Now,
They lose.
It depends who the quarterback is. It does depend on.
Yeah, that's true.
But because actually, my plan was to come into this with talking NFL draft, but we'll talk about that on Tuesday. So,
all right, for sure.
Like I said, so actually looking on the Brian Flores here. So we all know this noise about racism within the area, right? For his coaching, for him not getting hired, and all that dumbass shit he put out. What's that? I'm trying to get Stevie in. Let's see if he joins. I don't know. But like, do we want to mention the noise that was put out behind his name before these allegations that he put out? He's not the guy we think he is. He did make mistakes.
Yeah, for sure.
He was randomly drug testing Tua Tagovailoa to try to make him look bad. His camp even came out to say that he was that. So Brian Flores was so hooked on getting Deshawn there that he had something out for him. It was like he was just throwing random drug tests at him. No reason. There was no reason put behind him. That was just, hey, go take this drug test. Why? Mm-hmm. It was to make him look bad, to give the front office a reason to go and go get a quarterback, a different quarterback. But as a coach,
Deshaun Watson being the most likely one.
Well, yes, because that's all he wants. But Brian Flores, right? He got his head went up so far his own ass that he made an example out of himself of what not to be as a head coach. And as much as I think he's a great coach, you're not going to get a head coaching job ever again. I really think your coaching career might be over, if we're being honest, because your simple fact of not accepting Tua Tagovailoa, and you went out to randomly drug test him to make him look bad. And these aren't just reports. It's his own camp that has came out to say it, and the front office might know about it, and that's why they fired him. So he's not just, yes, maybe there was some racism. We don't know, but he's not who we think you are. He made mistakes, and I think that he might not get a head coaching job, because who's to say he won't do that again on a different team if he doesn't believe in that quarterback? Just
that's true. That's true.
Because,
yeah.
I mean, and then he went on to say, Bill Belichick influenced them hiring Brian Daboll.
No,
he didn't. He never influenced it. But even if he did, so what? Brian Daboll is one of the best offensive coordinator coaches in the NFL, and I'm going to give him that credit. He is.
Yeah.
Plus, he had that connection with the general manager, and familiarity tends to bring in people.
But just I don't know. It was a lot to come out to say that it was racism because I wasn't hired. But part of me thinks that he put out all this noise to try to get his name out of the other noise, to try and make himself look better in a way. Because I don't know. It's something of, because what if he did this other randomly drug test because he didn't believe in a different quarterback? Work with him.
That's true.
Why don't you believe him? Give him an O-line and then give something to believe. Because let me tell you something. If Tua Tagovailoa had Jalen Waddle and he had an offense that he was built around, who's to say
they could do some damage? Yeah.
He can do some damage. And now I think the perfect round 2 prospect for this team to go get, if they go get Mike McDaniel, is Wan'Dale Robinson. And here's why. You look at Wan'Dale, and I've looked at him a little, right? I've looked at, what he can do. He's the definition of what Deebo Samuel is. He can run and he can receive. And I think if Mike McDaniel, the offense coordinator who just made Deebo be able to do both, who's to say Wan'Dale doesn't have that same type of production in that offense?
That would actually be a good hiring.
What?
That'd be a good hiring if they sign McDaniel from the Niners.
And I think, as far as I know, he believes in Tua, so he might actually put in some time to, hey, I'm going to give you an actual line because, hey, this other bald fuck didn't give you one.
Here's another thing I want to bring up. McDaniels, yes, he did get interviewed, and he's looking like the favorite for the job, but Kellen Moore also has an interview with the Dolphins sometime soon, so I think McDaniels would be the better choice, but keep in mind Kellen Moore still around.
100%.
So listen, I don't believe Kellen Moore is actually good at all. I think he looked good because he had a great offense. And, I mean, I'm going to keep it real. From everything I've seen, I've actually talked to some Cowboy fans, and they all say the same thing. Man's inconsistent, doesn't adjust, and isn't really good. And honestly, Mike McDaniel, he is good. And I've even put him out into the consideration of who I want for offense coordinator. Hell, I would love to have Mike McDaniel and him because honestly, he might honestly be a reason. And like, I don't know, it's just different perspectives on everything. I don't know. We'll see what this where he goes. But I want to see Mike McDaniel give it an actual shot. I really do.
Here's the thing: if he would have been available for offensive coordinator for the Raiders, if he did go to them, chances are if he had another good year or two, he probably would have been hired away by someone, or they would have had to force to put him at head coach, which they probably wouldn't have done because obviously they invested quite a bit in Josh McDaniels and his GM. So there's that factor to consider.
So I mean, I didn't really talk about this too much behind, but I guess the next question, right, because this is also for agency, but I want to mention something outside for agency again. Another head coach. Is Eric Reid an overrated coach?
Wait, Eric
Stevie!
Reid?
So,
Eric Reid?
Or not Eric Reid, Andy Reid, sorry.
Oh.
Sorry about that. Andy Reid, yes, Andy Reid. Is he a little overrated? I mean, yes, he has a track record of winning. But let's look farther into this, right? He is now part of a 38-10 lead blown against Andrew Luck in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
He's part of an 18-point blown lead against Marcus Mariota and an 18-point blown lead against Joe Burrow. 3 of the biggest blown leads out there. Mm-hmm. Here's what I want to bring up, right? People want to bring him up into the top 10 coach consideration of all time, right? I don't believe he is. And he has like a knack on him for being what's the word? Not aggressive enough in the second half. He becomes
he rests on his laurels, he coasts, and basically just doesn't do what it takes to play the full 60 minutes when it counts the most.
Yes, he plays the first 30 minutes very aggressive, and then he gets like just I don't know what it is. He gets like inconsistent with his play calling. They didn't run the ball in the second half much. And it's just something like to bring up, like, how good really is he? I really don't believe he's that good, if I'm being honest. Like, yes, he's good. He's better than any Raider coach. I'm not going to say it like that, but let's chill on the top 10. I still believe he's a great coach, yes, but I just got to see him. I mean, he's got to stop blowing leads. He's got to what's the word that I'm trying to think? It's opposite of aggressive. God. He's
Stop
just
being
like
complacent.
What's up?
Stop being conservative.
Yeah, conservative. He's conservative in the second half. I'm sorry, I don't know. That was just blank on my mind. I worked too long today. I worked 10 hours for this bullshit. But hey, I actually like him. I think he's a great coach. Yes, I respect him. It's not to disrespect him. When I bring his name up, I think he's a great coach. But he's conservative in the second half. And all Chief fans, if you ask him how he is in the second half of these big lead games, outside of those 3, he has blown a few others, I think. But that weren't as big, but they can all say the same thing. He's conservative, inconsistent in the second half. And you know what? That's a knack on a lot of coaches. I can agree, but with him, it's a little more evident. I'll be honest. But before we can get in further, Stevie, man, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Glad I could finally make it on.
Yes, I'm very happy you're on. And you're a Packer fan, right?
Yes.
And so I just need your thoughts, like this free agency, right? What do you believe will happen with the Packers?
Yeah, I mean, we're, kind of, as I kind of said on my own show, that we're going to be going through a very long offseason. It's going to be a very different team when the first week kicks off of the next season for the Green Bay Packers.
Yes.
I think it's mostly going to be losing people through the free agency. There might be one or two. I think Devontae, if we want to try to keep him, and maybe, just maybe, we make a trade with the Las Vegas Raiders and we get Derek Carr. Aaron Rodgers goes to Vegas, but Devontae Adams stays in Green Bay. So so Devontae and Carr are together, but they're not together in Vegas.
Yeah.
The odds of that might be low, but that's what I'm thinking in regards to our best case scenario.
I mean, so we've seen Jordan Love behind Rodgers for what, 2 years now? 3 years?
Yeah.
3
years.
So, 2 years. I mean, do you believe say if he is the starter next year, say you were to go trade, and I'm not saying this will happen, but imagine you traded Rodgers and Adams over to Denver, and you got assets like Jerry Jeudy, right? I think you'd want him in the deal probably. Bradley Chubb, maybe, I don't know. Or even I don't even know. If you were to have an offense with KJ Hamler, and who are your young receivers on your team? I think you had one Clemson receiver. What's his name?
Amari Rodgers.
Yeah, Amari Rodgers. Yeah. So imagine Amari Rodgers, Jerry Jeudy, and then because you got to work around this free this money issue.
That's
right? So from this wide receiver free agent market, right? You have, I really think you guys could, and I'm not saying this will happen, but I think a really good pickup to pair up with if you were to go get Jerry Jeudy, maybe even if you paid maybe 5 to 6 or something. I really think Michael Gallup is being moved on from the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Cowboys. I think he'd be a pretty good target for you guys. So 3 years, $21 million maybe or something like that, $6-7 million a year. I think he'd be a really good wide receiver too. Next to if you were able to get Jerry Jeudy, I think he'd be a really good receiver for you guys. If he can stay healthy. Do you believe Jordan Love can succeed?
Well, yeah, I think he'd be able to succeed. I think the situation with regards to Jordan Love is we haven't had enough in regards to film on him and be able to see if he really is our future truly, and the very few times we got to see him in preseason or when he had to play, he actually did well. I mean, heck, we should have beat the Chiefs, when Rodgers was out because of COVID, but there's other reasons beyond Jordan Love.
See,
why we lost that game. So I think Jordan can do something. We just need to give him the reins and give him a chance.
So actually looking on the Chief game, he was ruled out Friday, right? Friday or something. It was the day before. So he really wasn't practice as if he was going to start the next day. So right. I really think say Rodgers went out that Tuesday and he had 5 days to prepare. I think you guys would have been in a better situation. But it really comes down to you guys. Your GM, and I'm going to be honest, is one of the best in business working around this cap space. He's had to do this for years on end, and he's kept this core around. Great guy. Now it becomes an issue to say, you guys are going to have to pay Jair. Not necessarily, though, because, just saying, your cornerback group looked really good with him out. So say maybe you did a sign and trade with him, and you went to go get more assets, younger assets. That's what I think you guys should be really looking for, the future. Because, let's be honest, Eric Stokes, he probably has the talent to become a cornerback. Just saying. And then Bryzio Douglas was a really good corner for you guys, so make him cornerback 2, and then maybe go draft a cornerback 3, or even a 2. Andrew Booth, just saying, you go get some assets. You can go get Andrew Booth from Clemson. If you haven't heard of him, go look him up. He's out of Clemson. I think he'd be a really good cornerback for you guys. There's a lot of this cornerback group. This cornerback class is really good. So, not too much to worry about. Wide receiver wise, just getting more guys. You could go get a Traylon Burks or something. The wide receivers are really good. So I think you guys are going to keep your O-line together. So your running backs are stuck together. So we'll see. I think it'll be a very interesting free agency for you guys. Yeah, anyone who's in the chat, you can go click the link. It's over there in the corner. It is over there. Go check it out if you want to actually get into the chat and talk with us. Go click the link. I think it lets you guys in.
Stevie, you were saying something? You were about to say something?
Sorry.
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I don't know.
Well.
Okay, we can play. What's that? Look at that head marks and stuff. So actually, what's that? So I'm just gonna ask you guys, if you guys. So we know the Eagles, right? Would you guys? Do you guys think the Eagles possibly have one of the brightest futures in the league?
Yes.
One of them, yes.
I think them and the Jags possibly are like the two brightest, right? Now, this is only if the Eagles don't mess their picks up. They have like 12 picks this draft. If they don't mess this,
3 in the first round too.
If they don't mess, I've already said this. I think they should go get Garrett Wilson out of Ohio State. He is a really good wide receiver.
They need a linebacker and a corner bad.
Adrian, man, what's good, man? But Stingley could potentially be the. I'm not really saying because let's be honest, I don't think the Packers are going to be able to get Derek Stingley. I'm just mentioning corners, right? But if you want to look for a guy to say if they got a wide receiver screen and you want a corner to go out and make a play, I think Andrew Booth is that guy because here's the thing, he's a really good open field tackler. I've watched him. He's a really good guy, right? But sure, I'm not saying he's the best. I never said that, right? I didn't say that. But God, responding to your question, I lost where I was. What was I saying?
You were talking about the Eagles.
Yes. Thank you. Eagles. I think them and the Jags probably got some of the brightest futures if they don't mess it up. You could even say, I agree. Bengals, they probably got possibly even the brightest with how good they already are. And if they get better at the cornerback spot, because that was a weakness.
Big weakness.
Booth is a playmaker. And when I say he's a playmaker, I'm not going to compare. I don't think Trayvon Diggs is a playmaker. He's just hey, I'm right here to catch the ball.
Right place at right time.
He's a ball hawk, but not a cover corner.
See,
yeah.
People get this mixed up, right? They want to say Trayvon Diggs is this screwed-ass corner. He's not.
No.
He is a ball hawk. I'm going to call him a ball hawk. That's what he is. He's a ball hawk cornerback. He will go get the ball. But when it comes to coverage,
yeah, he gets burnt.
He said, but here's the problem. You also look, he was targeted so much. You know why? It's because they know they can get yards off of him.
True.
And Cowboy fans want to say this man's one of the best corners in the league. They called him a shutdown. No shutdown corner should be getting no shutdown corner should go from 125-yard interception return to a 75-yard touchdown let up. No.
Yeah, you know he's not Jalen Ramsey.
And if I'm talking anyone in that division, in that division, Darius Slay's the best corner from that division.
Yeah, I like Slay.
Debate that. Because he's a top 5 to 10 corner.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, he's slowed down a
else
bit
was?
in recent years, but yeah,
he's still consistent though.
You know who should have been a Pro Bowler this year? AJ fucking Terrell. How the hell is he not a Pro Bowler? Did you know he didn't let up 30 yards in one game? Let alone 25?
We should have drafted him.
Wait a minute. Stephon Diggs, who?
Yeah.
AJ Brown, who? Nah. He was like Mike Evans, who? No, these guys were all shut down by this point. And you want to debate something? AJ Terrell, was he a top 3 corner this year?
Yeah, and we drafted Arnett.
And then
you don't need to remind me that, because you know I'm really pissed off still. But you know what? You know who else? You know, just like, yes, okay. AJ Terrell was the best cornerback. You know what? Who else was? AJ Terrell. He was 20. He wasn't the same class as Arnett, was he? And he was the season before that.
No, he was, because we were going to draft him, and then the Falcons traded up, and then we had to draft Arnett. Remember?
Okay, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that would have been a great pick. The guy that I would have liked at our pick was Jalen Johnson from the Chicago Bears.
Yes, bruh. I wanted him.
So I want to make something very clear, because kind of getting to a point where I'm like kind of tired with some Raider fans. You guys get this very fucking mixed up, right? When I tell you I didn't like the Josh McDaniels hire right away, you guys went on to say that I just didn't want him to work out. What the fuck? You think I don't want our coach to work out and make us have a winning organization? If you fucking think that, you're delusional more than I thought. I'm not going to be able to try and reason with you guys. The reason is he has everything against him. He has all the tools to work with, yes, but he failed as a head coach last time. And then we'll see. I hope he grew. And you know what? The only way he's not going to work out is if he does what I think he's going to do. And that was before the press conference. I said if he brought in his Patriot culture, because it doesn't fucking work nowhere else except his team, except the motherfucking Patriots. So we will see.
Because it's how the players respond.
If he brings his own culture, and we have a winning culture, and I think we have a winning culture. A lot of Patriot guys, iffy, we'll see, but we all know who Graham is. One of the best defense, maybe even the best defense coordinator we just hired, right?
At least
Gus
without a doubt.
Pick up for you guys right there.
Listen, Gus Bradley. Listen, I'm talking. So
that's an A+ pickup.
Something else to mention is people are like, why didn't we just keep Gus Bradley? He runs a cover 2.
Heck no.
He runs cover 2 zone, and it's very, very weak zone. It lets up a lot of yards. But we also
now he's the Colts problem.
So
yeah, and he doesn't blitz.
But when I mention his weak zone coverage or whatever, his little deep coverage, whatever, people want to be like, oh, what about the Legion of Boom? He had some of the best players in the NFL history at their positions. What do you expect? If you don't succeed with that, I don't know what to tell you. But if you compare our defense to the Seattle Seahawks, don't. Just
and
stop.
here's another thing.
You are smoking meth.
During the Legion of Boom, most of those years that defense was coached was Dan Quinn. He was the defensive coordinator for most of those years. So that's another thing.
Yeah, right. And Chris Richards.
Right. So I want to mention more of. It's not Thomas Graham. It is Thomas Graham. No, Patrick Graham. Sorry. I don't know why I want to keep saying Thomas, bro. Who the fuck is Thomas Graham? It's Patrick Graham. Whatever. So people want to be like, well, the Giants' defense wasn't good. Wrong. It was good when the offense wasn't turning over the ball 5 times a motherfucking game, okay? You look back on that team, offense was piss fucking poor. And I'm going to mention one game because this was the one game the defense showed out, and this is why. This defense, right? It was ranked in the top, I think it was top 6 or 7 of forcing turnovers. He was like top 15 in pressure rate. And with that D-line that he had over there, I think So I mentioned this to Punk before the show even started. I think Jonathan Abram only comes back as a linebacker. His time as a safety is up because the way Patrick Graham works is he runs a cover. He runs a two safety high top set where they have to be able to cover, and they take care of the deep coverage. The cornerbacks and the linebackers are supposed to be able to cover. So, and Perriman's already said he'll work on his coverage. So I really hope he's back. Devon Diablo has a lot of potential to work out, but you imagine him being able to come from whatever he had over there. And I think, and a cornerback, I actually think the Raiders should go sign is Keon Crossan, who was on the Giants, and he had a very actual good year. So I think I'd be okay with him. But I also would be okay with like Savine Banks from this draft. But imagine him coming from the Giants defensive back to a Casey Hayward, Nate Hobbs, Trayvon Mullen trio. And imagine that trio can stay healthy.
Right.
Linebacker is a true problem. I think Corey Littleton's gone. I think that's been kind of cleared already by now. Like the contract was bad. $16 million we're paying him, and I don't want to pay him. We're not gonna pay him, right? We already know that. Nick Gronkowski is kind of gone. So we're kind of down to
he's done.
Devon Diablo, and I think we should go get Donta Hightower as a veteran depth linebacker just because we're going to need some more. And I'm actually switching up my first-round pick who I really want. I want Nakobe Dean out of Georgia. I think he'd be a really good linebacker. He can play all over the field. And he's a playmaker, and that's what he loves in his defense. And then safety, I think this is a safety that needs to be brought up. I think we can go get Jabril Peppers.
I like that.
I think him and Trayvon would work.
Mm-hmm.
It would work out.
Yeah.
We got 54 minutes. We're going to create money to a point. I think if you asked, I don't know. We need an O-line. That's another issue. But I don't know who. I mean, like, outside, you can keep Corey Littleton. He's a very – he can play in coverage. But here's what you got to do. You got to go talk to him and be like, hey, we got to restructure this contract. It just ain't it. It just ain't it. If you can get him to make a 7 to 8 million, okay, he's gone. He'll be back maybe.
Probably.
If you can get him to take $8 million away from his contract this year, maybe make him into maybe even extend him into next year and pay him then. I don't know, sure, and then cut him next year. But I think he'd fit pretty well on this linebacker core. I think John Abram needs to come back. Jonathan Hankins needs to come back because they're really good guys at the interior. When we run the 3-4, you run Hankins in the middle as a run stopper. You put Abram in that front box, and you can really load it up for the run coverage. I think we gotta just continue to grow. We gotta get better, right? We do. We all know this. But for some people who think we're going to do a rebuild, no, it's a retool. This is our time to retool the roster. Right?
Yeah.
So what about the Rams? You don't think they're going to lose like Odell to the Chiefs?
Probably
They
not,
might lose Odell. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Stevie, go ahead.
No, just going to say probably not to the Chiefs. But in regards to losing Odell overall, I think so. I think it's more of
I'll be honest.
Wants to go, but
actually, something that was also put out, I just want to mention this before we really get too far into this. The Ravens GM has already said they will not be taking Antonio Brown. Let's be honest. Let's keep this 100% honest, right? He's still very talented. Let's be honest. He's still very talented, but he's also a headache. And nobody wants to deal with this. So I'll keep it honest. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I think his career is kind of going to the point where it's like, hey, it's over, right? He's a headache in the locker room. He's a headache on the field. Like I said.
Odell, I think for sure he will probably be gone. I don't know if it'll exactly be the Chiefs, but I'm sure Odell will have some suitors. It could be a situation of buyer beware. Excuse me. Considering, he did kind of revitalize his career with the Rams, but you've also got to remember many years before, he was either injured or inconsistent. So,
I mean,
kind of a buyer week.
I'll be honest. Like his best option would be to come back to the Rams as a wide receiver 3. If you are a team, you cannot sign Odell to come in and be your main man. He already proved he can't do it. So I don't think he's going to go anywhere he needs to be the wide receiver 1, but here's why I say the Chiefs. He wouldn't be expected to be wide receiver 1. He could play from the slot if you really want to, or wide receiver 2. And let's be honest, he's not going to be asked to go get you over 1,000 yards. He's going to be asked to help spread out the field. And him, Cole, and Tyreek would work out really nicely. I'm just saying, it's another great option. He is also playing with even a better quarterback than Stafford in Patrick Mahomes. Just anyone who is in the chat, go check out the link I put in there. You can actually join our call or join our video here. So I'm actually I just had the free agents pull up. So let's go down this list, right? Von Miller, do you think he's staying or he's leaving?
Leaving.
It really depends on regards to if he leaves and goes back to Denver, if Rodgers actually goes to Denver and all that. And but I think overall I would say he's leaving.
Yeah. So who are teams that you would view as a suitor for? I mean, call me crazy, but you know who I've actually like. I mean, I know I'm sticking away from Von Miller for a moment, but like, you know who I really actually kind of been thinking about wanting part of this defense? I want another pass rusher that can play outside linebacker. He played for the Raiders.
Khalil Mack.
Just saying, guys. It's just a thought, but he's not coming on his $18-20 million contract. If he's coming, he's going to refix that contract up for us. Now, that would be an amazing trio right there. And I think let's be honest, there's not a moment when Patrick Graham got hired, he wasn't thinking of building, he wasn't thinking about getting another star. But I think he's thought about it. I think we kind of touched on this.
Raiders?
I'd be okay with that if we can sign him. I think I'd be okay with him, but not in this scenario, guys. I'm not saying he's coming with Khalil Mack. I'm not saying we're getting all 4 of those guys, because if we got all 4 of those guys, game over. If you're another quarterback, you better fucking watch out, because you're. Yeah, I'm just gonna say that. Chris Godwin, do we think he's leaving?
That's a possibility. I could see it happening. It's also possible due to his injury, he might have to settle for a 1-year prove-it contract just to be sure that injury doesn't totally affect him. So
I'm not gonna lie, he's only 26, right? And I've been bringing up Allen Robinson's name. Call me crazy, but like they might. This is another guy I've even before his injury, I was thinking about would the Raiders be better off with a 26-year-old Godwin or a 30-year-old Devontae Adams? And I was like, I came to the thought of it. You are better off giving a longer-term deal to a Chris Godwin. Now, listen, if the Raiders can get him for a 4-year, $33 million, I would be fine with that. That's $7.75 million a year. And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but that's just another thought. There's a lot of thoughts that go through free agency, right? I don't think he's going to come to the Raiders. That's not to say I think he will, but that's a realistic contract. Because if you think his realistic contract right now is $10+ million, you're out of your goddamn mind. Because the guy's coming off a torn ACL. And
I don't think he's going to take a long-term deal. That's the thing. I think if he's going to get lowballed, he's probably only going to take a 1-year deal so he can prove himself. Otherwise, he's going to want $10 million plus if it's a long-term contract. So I'd expect a 1-year flyer on him, and if he does well, then he'll get upwards of $10+ million per year in at least 3 to 4 years, depending on if he wants another contract or not. That's my 2 cents.
And that's why I really don't think he's going to come to the Raiders because, like, I wouldn't personally want to sign him for 1 year. I wouldn't. I'm not going to lie. I really wouldn't. But let's talk. I mean, we kind of touched up on him. Allen Robinson, do we think he's, like, completely gone from I think he's gone completely from Chicago. I think he kind of proved it this year.
Especially since he would be getting more money with a franchise tag if they were to keep him. I don't think he wants to stay. And the franchise tag would be more expensive.
I think and I'm not trying to sound biased, guys, but I think his most realistic option is to come to the Raiders. Just saying. Play with Derek Carr. Play with your best quarterback you've ever played with in your career. I'm not going to touch upon every single free agent. So let's go to the next name, who I've actually heard about quite a bit. Tyrann Mathieu. You guys think he's sticking around or he's leaving?
I can't imagine him leaving right now. I really think he's one of their better pieces on defense.
I know he is. I know he is.
So I'm pretty sure they're going to do everything they can to at least make sure he stays for at least another year. So he'll be a franchise tag candidate, possibly.
I think they're going to find a way and be able to keep him.
Yeah. Man, this next guy, he's going to be the future of Washington. Ben Roethlisberger. No, I'm just...
Oh, gosh. Do you want me to put my beanie over my face again?
Dude, that was the funniest show entrance I think I will ever witness. I just see the pure disappointment. Just hunched over like I'm like getting ready to cry himself to sleep. Man.
I'd cry on stream if that were to be realistic.
Oh
my gosh.
No, he's gonna come on our stream, guys, for free agency talk. Like we're gonna the moment free agency opens up, we're gonna start. We're gonna do a live and stuff, and it's gonna be reported. Jimmy G traded to Washington for a first and second round pick. And he's just gonna start bawling.
Already ahead of you. If that happens,
I'll be there.
I can't show my face again.
What's up?
I'd be there to see your reaction to that.
Oh my god! Oh my. Now, these idiots. Okay. And this is why I say this. This is why I mentioned the second round pick. Because San Francisco believes his talent level is level to a second round pick.
Second and third round.
Motherfucker, if you get a second and third, then Tennessee robbed the fuck out of Atlanta.
Yeah.
Well, not really, because Julio only played 7 games.
Julio was, injury prone and
I said it. And I never, you know what? I think anybody can say, I didn't really want Julio on our team. He hurt the Titans in a way of, he wasn't there for most of the season. I want a wide receiver I believe that can go out and play me 10 games plus. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys – okay, so this next question isn't even re-sign or leave. It's re-sign or does he retire? I mean, I've heard a lot of retirement talk out of this guy. Calais Campbell, is he retiring?
Maybe, but I'd say the odds would be more so not.
I mean, he's 38, and he did come out to at one point and say that he was halfway through the season. He said, "I was my guy. What was the word? He was thinking about retirement. He was going back and forth between if he wanted to retire at the end of this year. We will see what happens.
Let's see. I think he'll either retire or he'll sign a one-year deal with a Super Bowl competitor, Super Bowl contender. That's my 2 cents.
I honestly think he would probably be all right on the. What if he went back to his former one of his former teams? Sebastian is here. I didn't see him for a moment. I was like, is he even here? I thought I invited him.
Oh yeah.
I think he'd be okay if he went back to Arizona.
Problem is, Cliff Kingsbury's a choker when it comes to coaching, so I'm not sure that would be the ideal situation for him if he wants to be with a potential Super Bowl contender.
Yeah,
if he were to go to the team I could see him most likely going to and potentially winning a ring is the Bills. That would be just so they have that veteran presence alongside Gregory Rousseau. So that's probably my biggest reasoning why the Bills would be a potential spot for him if he were to return.
Honestly, we'll mention that next. Okay, after we get through these free agents, we'll give some predictions on the show because I want I want to make this a 2-hour show plus, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this next guy I actually really want to mention is a guy. He's a tackle, and his team is like getting absolutely fucked by the cap space. And from New Orleans, Teron Armstead, is he leaving? Is his time in New Orleans finally over?
Yeah, I think he's dipping.
I agree.
He's dipping, but I think he'll gather some interest considering the position he plays. But yeah, he's probably not going to be a Saint for much longer.
I'll go as far to say this: when healthy, he might be like the second or third best left tackle in the league. And I'm telling you, the best is Teron Armstead. I think that to me, without a statement, without an argument, I would love to have this guy on my team. I mean, dude, the man's a bulldozer, man.
Yeah, he can move people.
Let me tell you something. If this man is motioning to your side and they're starting to run the ball and he's coming full speed at you, I am getting the fuck out of the way. I am like, I'm off. I'm out. I give up. I'm out. I don't want that coming at me, man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. He's like a moving like truck, bro.
Oh my fucking god! I don't even want to say much. I might get killed. I think we might have a murder in the outfield, man. Stephon Gilmore, you think he's leaving? Where is he? He was Carolina, man.
I think he's gone.
Man, listen, and I think he still has potential to be one of the best corners in the league, but that is on the right team, right? And I'm not saying Carolina can't be elite, but
look at the young pieces that are there. They have J.C. Horn. They have C.J. Henderson. They also have.
Do we want to mention they had a top at one point they had a top 5 defense and they were still losing?
Yeah, it's because their offense was trash,
dude.
Yeah,
I don't even want to say too much. Like that team was just it was horrendous, man. Akeem Hicks, I think Sebastian, I think you saw this part on Raider Joe's show. Akeem Hicks, I've already said this. Also, this is another guy I really want to bring in as a 3-4. This is why I want to bring him in, right? John Hankins is good, but this man is a beast. He can run stop and he can bring pressure. And imagine the pressure rate along that D line. Like, who are you double teaming? Because you have to double team at least probably one of them, maybe even 2 of them. And if we run the 4-3, and imagine you had because I know Darius Philon so if you're running the run defense, your D line probably looks more like Malcolm Coons and Cleveland at the edge with Darius and John Hankins. But if you're running the pass rush, it's Solomon Thomas, Akeem Hicks in the middle. And then your outsides are Max Crosby and Yannick. And imagine if I'm still going to mention this name. If we actually brought back Khalil Mack, I'm saying, who is stopping that pass rush?
No one.
No one. And I'm not biased to say that. I mean, I think anyone in here can agree. Because if we look back on the numbers, Max Crosby had 8 sacks. Solomon Thomas had 6. Yannick had 10. And imagine you add a healthy Khalil Mack and a healthy Akeem Hicks, who is part of one of the best D lines and part of front forces. Who is the guy that had 18 sacks this season from the Bears?
Robert Quinn.
Is he a free agent?
I don't think so.
Okay, I don't know. I'm just thinking that'd be another interesting free agent pickup. Not gonna lie. Yeah, we just brought up Akeem Hicks. Do you guys want to bring up a few more names and then we can?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, let's go down. Let's see here. Because I still want to run more shows with talking NFL free agents, so we'll bring more. Joe Hayden. Actually, I'm already telling you what it is. He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. But I don't know who would pick him up. Like, the problem is he's good, but he's getting up there in age.
I mean,
I don't know if he really comes to production.
Call me crazy. What if he went to a division rival like Cleveland, like Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome, and Joe Hayden? That's pretty good.
So that's you returning to Cleveland.
Yeah, he would return to Cleveland.
I mean, he did talk. I can't remember what was said, but he did say something about Cleveland in one of his tweets. he did tweet out about Cleveland. Just want to mention that. So, Cleveland fans, don't get your hopes up. You're not going to the Super Bowl, but you might get a former player. And I'm not going to go as far as to say your fan base is as worse as the Cowboys, because I was on live the other night, and I can't believe this Cowboy came in here and said this, but he really said, "Oh, Dak Prescott's a top 3 quarterback in the league." What the fuck is you smoking? Bro, I'm sorry, because when I talk about top 10 quarterbacks, right, I think of quarterbacks that can get the job done and get you to the playoffs and get you winning in the playoffs. And that's why I have a problem with Herbert and Dak in the top 5. I think they're maybe top 10. You can say if you're talking about pure talent, they're top 5, top 10. But Dak is in that range, and I hate to say it like in a disrespectful manner, but he's in the same area to me as like a Baker Mayfield, a guy that can't get the job done. And that's not to say that I believe he has the same talent level. I just believe they're in the same area when you talk about who can get the job done. Just saying.
Yeah.
Although with Dallas, I think it's also their coaching that's holding them back as well. So that could be another thing.
And these motherfuckers, they say this shit every offseason. Oh, next year's our year. You've been saying that for 30 years. Where are you guys? Nowhere. Bro. What's that? You guys believe Ryan Jensen's gone from Tampa Bay? One of the best players in the league? I don't know.
I want to say
you look at
There's a chance to be able to keep him.
I think they're gonna keep him. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not gonna let him go.
Yeah. Wait, what happened to Rodney Hudson? Did he play much this season? I didn't really hear much chatter about his name, not gonna lie. Did he not play this year much?
No. I don't even know, man.
I didn't really follow up.
I think he did, but that must mean that he either did a great job or he was injured. If you didn't hear a good job,
I'm not even. You know what? You know how much I really don't give a shit. I'm not even look it up because I don't care. You're not part of the Raiders organization. I don't give a damn. It was a process. I'm okay now. I look back on it. We really saved money getting rid of Hudson, and we got a young 24-year-old center who's up on the rise. So I'm just saying, I'm fine with that move. I don't care what Raider fans say. We won that trade. And we won the trade with Trent Brown, which I don't even get me started on it because he might be. I keep hearing this thing about him coming back. I'm like, I don't want him. I cannot depend on you to play more than 7 games or 7 snaps in that. Then I don't want you on the Raiders.
Yeah, he will not play like 7 snaps and he'll get injured.
Now, like I said, if he played all year and he was a top left tackle in the league, I'd be fine with it.
But he's not.
He did play 9. I'll be honest, right? He played 9 games, his most in his career in the last 4 years with the guy that's our head coach now. So, like I said, if it's a 1-year, $5 million contract, a prove-it deal, I'm fine with it. But don't tell me after
I'd
1
be
year.
the right tackle, though. Most likely.
No, but what?
He'll most likely be their right tackle, though, considering Colton Miller's already.
Yeah, and I think that'd be a really good duo when it's healthy. Now, if he can stay healthy, I would love it. I think him and Colton, if they both played 17 games, I wouldn't have to worry about Carr going out there and getting injured.
I like Morgan Moses.
What's up?
I like Morgan Moses from the Jets. I right there.
From the Jets?
Here's the thing. He can't stay he generally tends to play injured, and he's a penalty machine. Those are the biggest knocks on him. So I know because he was with us for a long time.
Well, I was gonna say this because you look at not Ziegler. McDaniel, sorry. He has this it's actually really good because his offensive lines. He's brought in some guys that have had a knack on them for being undisciplined, and they're disciplined. So if he brings in Morgan Moses, maybe he becomes a little more motivated. He motivates his players. That's something I've heard about him. He motivates his players, and they're really disciplined. So if he can make his O-line disciplined, I'm fine with it, right? But I think if you're looking to fix up the O-line, you go get Mark Gronkowski from the Colts, who's been healthy almost his entire career, and he's disciplined. And that's a perfect fit right next to our center, who wasn't as disciplined. And then you go get Morgan Moses or some tackle. Here's my point, right? You don't need big names. Now, if you go get Trent Brown, I'm fine with it, right? As long as he plays his games. So if I had to ask you guys going into next, you know what? Because we'll do it on the show. We'll do it on a show, right? Once the actual schedules come out and stuff, and we have the full teams, I'll ask you what your record predictions are. We'll do actual record predictions and who you guys think are favorites to win. Because I don't really want to ask you guys who your favorites are going into next year because we don't know what's going to happen this free agency.
I think we could do that division by division if we really wanted to. I think we could stretch that out to an hour and a half to 2 hours if we wanted.
Yeah, we can. And that would be like a 2.5 hour show right there. Now it depends. We need more people. We need more people to start showing up for our show. Just saying. But I'm actually very happy with the group we have today. It's a different group, and I love to have different groups. Darian has said he would pop in at some point. Just hoping to see his face come in here at some point. Shit. I said shit. Sorry, I just want to see. I'm just gonna. But yeah. Sorry. Hey, Washington, right. You want Ryan Fitzpatrick back? No, I'm trying.
Well, I have a feeling he wouldn't come back. I feel like we're just gonna try and go a bit younger at quarterback, or. Well, I think pretty much everyone's younger than him that we could get. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're going to go younger.
Okay. It's magic.
No, they could.
Yeah. So if I had to ask you guys, right? So your some of the most surprising teams of this year, right? Or who were some of those teams, right?
Bengals, obviously. That's the obvious
100%. 100%.
Bengals, yeah. Rams. I think that was surprising on how they got OBJ and all their acquisitions like Von Miller. I think that's very surprising. No one saw that.
I would also say
just continue.
Well, I was just gonna say. I would also say that the Philadelphia Eagles were a surprise for me and how they were able to things going and be able to make it to the playoffs, even though they got knotted by the Bucks.
I'll be honest, like a team that surprised me, and I mean it in a good way because I actually thought for what happened to this team this year, they should have been where they were. The Saints. They almost made the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. Dude, literally, they were literally the 49ers winning just absolutely killed that chance of them being in the playoffs.
And I don't mean to sound biased, but one of the most surprising teams in the league, I think, should be even mentioned as the Raiders. You look at everything that happened to this team fell apart. And then I think it was week 14, I think I had said it. I said after our loss to the Kansas City Chiefs, I said our season was over. I said, pack it up, boys. Get ready for the offseason. And then pack it. I mean, we just 4 straight wins. And Washington was part of my life every week. He was like, bro, you really picking against your team. I'm like, I don't believe in this team to make the playoffs. And we did. Now, from going to Cleveland and getting barked at to – yes, that actually happened. I went to a Cleveland Brown game, and I got a Cleveland Brown fans who bark at me. Like, he walked up to my jersey, looked at my jersey, and goes, and just barks like a dog. I'm like,
you're in the dog pound, baby.
Dog pound.
And I'll say, for teams that surprised me in a bad way, the Browns, you guys overhyped the fuck out of yourselves. Like,
literally, they were seen as Super Bowl contenders this year, and they look nothing like that.
Also, a team that surprised me in a bad way at the end of the year was the Colts. How did you do that?
Indianapolis.
How did you lose to the Jags?
Bro, week 15 or week 16 going into the game against the Raiders, right? Okay. And I picked against the Raiders, right? I said we were going to lose. I said the Colts to me were a dark horse. And it was week 14. I said that they were at the point going into the Patriot game that they were an underdog to win the AFC because they had won 8 straight games, and they were just coasting through these teams. They beat the Patriots, and then they lost against the Bucs. That's like, okay, it's a good-ass team that they just lost to. Right?
Yeah.
And then did they finish with – they finished up losing 3 of 4. I'm like, I said y'all was going to win the AFC.
And most embarrassingly, the cherry on top of the crap Sunday, they lost to the Jags in the final week and cost themselves a chance at the playoffs.
So
yeah, that was terrible.
And so before I even mention my next team that surprised me in a good way, I'm going to mention the Jets. Their 3 wins were very crucial. If they didn't beat the Bills once, the Bills would have been the home team for the Chief game in the AFC divisional game, whatever the fuck it is, right? Mm-hmm. They kicked Miami out of the playoffs with being them in Miami, who was on a 6-game winning streak. And the cherry on the top, Carson Wentz folds like a mat. Gone. Just disappeared. Jonathan Taylor, who was supposedly the best back in the NFL, he was nowhere to be found in the first half. He just disappeared. He was like, "Hey, I didn't even get off the bus yet. Where are y'all boys?" Mm-hmm. And then, so I want to mention this team. Yes, they didn't win the AFC, but they still surprised me in a very, very good way. The Titans, with all the injuries that y'all had, no Derrick Henry for that second half, I even thought for a moment maybe y'all wouldn't even make the playoffs. I really did. I thought maybe because I don't know. There was a chance I was thinking to myself, okay, this team has no solidified run game. Sure, right? The next team I'm going to mention, I know this sounds crazy, but the Ravens surprised me, right? And here's why, right? Mm-hmm. And not in a good way because it was in a good way at the start of the year. They were going through injuries. I get it, and then they folded. And honestly, John Harbaugh is a good coach, but he really made some questionable decisions down the stretch. I think he really did. Just saying.
And an even more questionable move, keeping Greg Roman as offensive coordinator.
And even more questionable than that is keeping your strength and condition coach, who you have had all these injuries, right? For what, 2 to 3 years now, and he's not getting any better. How you have to at some point question if he's even making a mark. Like, what's going on here? Why are we not able to stay healthy?
That I don't know.
I mean, you can say also the Steelers were surprising because they made the playoffs with Ben Roethlisberger.
They just lucked into it. They didn't absolutely deserve to be there. They just lucked into it.
They just got lucky.
Yeah.
No, they definitely got lucky. I want to talk about the next team. Chargers, you guys were overhyped coming into the year. I think you guys are overhyped every year. You guys think you're getting second place. I even heard some fucking idiots telling before the year started, right? I told everyone, I said I thought we were finishing second in our division. I got people telling me that the Broncos were more talented than us.
I mean, they did have a point to an extent, but yeah,
they didn't show up on the field.
Really.
At the beginning of the year.
We swept you guys.
Yeah. I think one Bronco fan really, even to the extent still nowadays, still believes that Drew Lock is a better quarterback than Derek Carr, even though he's not a starter. So don't know how that works. I really don't know how that works, but if I must mention, you think a backup quarterback who lost his starting job to a bridge quarterback who's very inconsistent, very is better than a guy who just made the playoffs with everything? I think you're fucking crazy. I think you're fucking delusional. I think you need drug tested, and I pray for your mental health. Just saying. If I had to ask you guys, out of the top 10 picks, who is most likely to trade one of their picks? Who do you think it is?
I would say the Jets or the Eagles. Those two teams.
Wait, the Eagles don't have a top 10 pick though.
Yeah, I'm talking about the top 10. And I think my
Top
answer
10?
is
Oh.
I think my answer, to be honest, is honestly the Broncos. I'm saying
Broncos?
as in what they're going to offer. I think they're going to have to offer up the 9th overall pick if they want Rodgers, right?
Yeah.
They're going to throw everything at one guy just to lose in the first round. Whatever, right? Let them do that. It's whatever, right? I don't know.
That's technically top 10. I think the Jets or the Giants, considering they both have 2 picks in the top 10, I think, do the Jets still have that second top 10 pick, or did Seattle kind of blow it for them? I'm blanking right here.
2 top 10 picks. I don't know.
All right.
But yeah, those would be my 2 biggest contenders for trading down.
Trading down? Yeah. That makes sense.
And then the Broncos, not exactly trading down, just trading away. That's how I put it.
So I want to make like a ranking. I want to do like some type of rank, right? Who do you guys think? Okay, let's say this, right? 5 years in the future. And I don't know. I feel like this is a little crazy. But who do you guys think will be the best quarterbacks 5 years down the road?
Josh Allen, Joe Burrow.
So let's start with one. Do we think it'll be Patrick Mahomes still, or what?
I think it'll be Josh Allen, probably.
Josh Allen? Okay, I'm okay with that ranking.
Yeah.
I think he's on the upcoming. I'll be honest, right? I'll give Josh Allen 1, and honestly, part of me wants to give Joe Burrow 2. I really think
that was what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
I think that wide receiver.
I think with Pat Mahomes, I think in 5 years that salary cap that he brings is really going to hurt the team, and it's going to hurt him as a consequence. So he could still be a top 5, but I don't think he'll be
5 years. If we're being honest, right? We'll go look back on this, right? But in 5 years, Travis Kelce's gonna be like 37, 38. He'll be probably out of the league. He might be out of the league by then. and then
of course, yeah.
We'll have to see, right?
Yeah.
Should we give Patrick Mahomes the next spot, or should we give someone else the spot? I'm thinking, who are some of the most up-and-coming quarterbacks? Because I'm not giving, Russ this. I'm not even putting, Pat. I'm thinking, the young quarterback. I don't even know if Lamar Jackson is being my top 5. And here's why. I mean, he has yet to show me a reason to put him in my top 5. He has yet to give me that reason because he can't throw the ball consistent.
Nope.
I would say Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray.
Yeah, you can say Kyler Murray. Honestly, I might put Patrick Mahomes at 3. I'll be honest. I'll give him 3.
Yeah.
I think not giving him 1 or 2 is okay. But CBS, when they did this, oh my Lord, when you talk about sucking a dick, bro, they were immediately, there was one of the guys immediately when the question was even put out, even before the question was finished, he was like, it's easy, Patrick Mahomes. Get off his dick. Think about it for 2 seconds. It's not even that easy of a question if you think about it, because you can tell me you think Kyler Murray will be the best quarterback in 5 years. I'm not even gonna hate that because he's a great quarterback. And I don't know if I want to give him 4. I feel like there's another quarterback we can mention. Justin Herbert? I don't know.
Yeah, I would say Herbert.
Yeah.
Now, okay. So this can easily blow up in our faces because here's why, right? He has yet to get the job done with his supporting cast that is so good. So
we also have to consider potential quarterbacks being drafted or up like that haven't really played and just developed.
I feel like part of me feels like CJ Stroud will probably be in that kind of consideration 5 years down the road. I'll be honest. Now, listen, I won't have Justin Herbert in my top 5 if he cannot get the job done. He has let's be honest. Justin Herbert had a better team around him than Derek Carr, who made the playoffs. Just saying.
Yeah. Or Bryce Young could definitely be another guy.
Yeah. When does Arch Manning what grade is he in, or is he in I can't remember what.
He's a junior, I think.
Okay, so if he declares, I think maybe 5 years from now might be a little bit of a stretch for him, especially if he doesn't declare early. So he might not even be in the league in 5 years, or it's possible that he just getting started in 5 years. So maybe a 10-year one. That could be a possibility. I'm not entirely certain.
More realistic.
Yeah. Okay, and then what's up? All right. Well,
What?
yeah, I thought someone said something, but yeah, I guess so. Let's see. Yeah.
I'm back.
All right.
But honestly, personally, I might just give Kyler number 5 for now because like Bryce Young will be in his second or third year down in 5 years, I think, or something. He might be in his fourth, actually. He'll be back in the NFL next year. So he'll be in his 4th year. I don't know. I think he'll be like 6 or 7 or something like that. So I'll give Kyler number 5 for now.
Okay.
But this list might blow up in our faces because if Justin Herbert hasn't made the playoffs in 5 years, I don't think he's in my top 5. I'll be honest.
Yeah, and we also have to take into account potential quarterbacks that haven't been drafted in the league yet, or quarterbacks that have just developed over the past year or so and will potentially make a mark. Yes. It really depends.
Yes, it really does depend. I think Archie Manning is a stretch. I did hear you guys. But I think Bryce Young wouldn't be a stretch. I really don't. I think, if I'm being honest, if drafted in the right position, he could be better than Kyler Murray in 5 years. Just saying.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Especially
if Kyler Murray's more of an air raid quarterback and Cliff Kingsbury's gone, and if they don't have a proper offense for him, so that could be another knock on him.
Yeah. So if I had to ask you guys, right, who is one of the most underrated receivers you believe right now in the league? Who would you say?
Underrated?
Yes.
Underrated. Well, I have a biased answer, but I'm pretty
Terry
sure.
McLaurin?
Well, and there's actually true. It's actually true to an extent. Terry McLaurin.
I do understand what you're saying, but one receiver. I want to mention this one receiver for a reason, right? Who's in my mind? Who actually I've had this thought on, right? Because some people just I don't get it, right? When you mention some of the greatest, and what is one thing you want out of a receiver? How about consistency? And this guy is consistent. He's one of the best route runners. He's got some of the best hands. But even more importantly, he hasn't had great quarterbacks, and he's still putting up all these great yards. But I'm talking about like in his past, like these past 2 years, he has had a great quarterback. So, you guys think about who it is. Been in the league for 8 years.
You got a great quarterback. I'm guessing Cooper Kupp. That would be my guess, but
no, he is good. But
he's probably rated.
To me, I get he had a great year, but he's slightly becoming overrated by some. Just saying. But
all right. So who were you thinking?
I want to give this to Mike Evans, right? And here's why.
Oh, Evans.
There are so many people who are not understanding this. Do we not realize how hard it is to put 1,000 plus yards in every single year of your career? He did 1,000 yards with
James
Blaine
Winston.
Gabbert.
And Blaine
Jameis
Gabbert,
Winston.
yeah.
Jameis Winston, who couldn't even see. He had an eye issue. And
that was actually who I was thinking before Terry McLaurin too. That's a funny thing.
Yeah, I just don't understand. This man, I don't know what it is. He became so underrated all of a sudden because I had someone on the live tell me they didn't believe Mike Evans was a top 10 receiver.
Yeah, I thought he was a top 10 receiver last year. And so
I mean,
maybe it's because I already have him rated fairly highly that I don't really think about him. But yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, he's not a top 10 receiver. Yeah, I think he's there.
All they do is look at stats. If you want to be honest, he is one of the best route runners in the game. He's got some of the best hands. people want to look at it and be like, oh, well, he still had 7 drops. 7 drops with Blaine Gabbert and Jameis Winston. What do you expect?
Yeah.
And these drops, right? These drops, some of them, it's counted if the ball even hits you in the hands. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, or even fingertips. Yeah, which
it's just
there was a lot of that.
Crazy. I mean, I don't know. I don't really think some drops should be counted towards the receiver, but whatever. Let's be honest. If you want to mention like straight up consistency, he's the best in the game. He's the most he's been the most consistent for 8 straight years, 1,000 plus yards, and he's done it. He has 75 touchdowns in 8 years. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So I think he's.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. It's just crazy because I had to mention this because it was crazy. People really told me this man wasn't top 10. I'm just like, bro, what? Bro, Washington. I just want to mention this. I got you 4 clips, so I'll send you one by one a day, just so you have that clip that day, so you can send it up.
Sounds good.
I don't know. I actually found it fun to do this ranking because I feel like Josh Allen, Joe Burrow aren't bad options. I don't think any of these guys you can say are bad options to say. But even if
right.
Because in 5 years, Bryce Young is going to be in his 4th year, and if he's put in the right system, just saying.
He could do well.
Now, when you talk about right system, where is it? I really can't tell you. I don't know who the right system is because if you look at teams, what teams don't have a future at quarterback? And I'm honestly going to say this. I want to say the Bucs don't have a bright future at quarterback, but they have a future, sure. But I think, like, if you're being honest, if Kyle Trask wasn't given that choice, he wasn't given a chance. What if Bryce Young went to Tampa Bay? Just saying. It'd be a pretty interesting fit.
That would be a good fit, actually, because of the weapons and then the offensive line. They'll utilize his skill set.
Great fit. But on the other hand, you think the Buccaneers are going to be that bad to get him?
No.
That's the only issue.
Unless they trade up.
I'm not really gonna give a team I believe will be number 1 next year because I really don't. Because anything can happen. We don't know.
Yeah.
Although the Jaguars were number 1 2 years in a row, so you know.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
They drafted
not since the Browns has that happened. Although that was fairly recently. So
did they have number 1? Right. Wait, did they really have number 1 2 straight years though? Who did they get? Trevor Lawrence.
And
Trevor Lawrence and this year is their 2nd first-round pick, and then the Browns got Myles Garrett.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, coming up. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're gonna go DN this year. I'm not gonna lie. I think they're gonna go with Aiden Hutchinson, maybe, or maybe even right. Maybe they go get the right tackle of the future and Evan Neal. Just saying.
Yeah, they need an offensive line bad.
They do.
Yeah, it's gonna be on the trenches that they get their pick, unless they really want to surprise people. But I don't think they will.
This week was a little surprising. Like we grew. We got 20 subs in 1 week.
That's insane, bro.
Awesome.
Like Sebastian, I literally got 6, bro. So I got off Joe's live. I checked right before I went to bed. It was 64. I woke up and we hit 70.
Oh yeah, when I texted you.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna check this one second. I'm gonna see one thing. Let's see if we grew in the time we've been on stream. Nope.
Oh wow.
Actually, it doesn't give me a video number of how many people have been in here, but we had 55 views in 2 days. And then the other one, which is 4 days, is 41. So we grew just in 2 days. I mean,
that's pretty good.
There we go. Awesome.
Oh shit! I did not mean that.
Oh, did you guys watch the Senior Bowl? It was pretty awesome, man. I watched it. A lot of good prospects.
Oh yeah. I kind of want to rewatch it again and have that analysis for next Tuesday's episode when we do more drafting and prospects.
Yeah,
it's more
for sure.
So yeah. Yeah, but,
Man, that was crazy. The only quarterback I feel like was good, honestly, was Malik Willis. Was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Corral.
Matt, did he play?
What do you mean? Wait, you mean?
No, we're talking about the Senior Bowl. Yeah.
No, we're talking about the Senior Bowl in general.
I thought you were just mentioning quarterbacks from this. I don't know who actually played in this game. I didn't really get to watch it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I know Malik Willis is being watched by the Steelers.
Yeah, he had a good game. He was like scrambling and making plays. Yeah, he was nice.
I'll be honest. I don't think he's gonna be there at the Steelers pick, so they're gonna have to make a trade if they
No.
want.
They're probably trading up if they. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna trade up.
Now, if I'm being honest, another team that's actually looking for him, and this is why they would trade back, is the Lions. Because let's be honest, if they take Willis at number 2, it's not going to work. I just don't believe he should be a number 2 pick. So that's why if they trade back, if they do make a trade back, they're going to make a trade back, and they're going to get more assets for number 2. So what they're going to really be doing here is getting Malik Willis and even more assets. But imagine you had a quarterback that can do both. Who I think he might be. I think he'll be better than Lamar Jackson 5 years down the road. I'll be honest. I think he will be. I'll give him that. I think Bryce Young will be better than Lamar Jackson. I don't believe Lamar Jackson's as good as advertised.
He's a great runner, but not a great passer. That's my not.
If I look at a quarterback,
that's the only thing that knocks me on Lamar.
If I look at a quarterback, I want to build around. I want him to be able to throw the ball in.
Throw the ball. Yeah. Pocket. Exactly.
If he can't throw the ball in the pocket with composure, I don't want him.
Yeah, you need to be able to throw the rock.
But we'll see.
Okay. If you're on the clock, what player would you want to draft?
At like number 1?
Wait, at our respective picks? Yeah. Raiders for you.
See, I feel like Raiders at 22 or 23 or whatever it is. I believe it needs to be a linebacker. We need another young linebacker that can become the futures. I think Diablo and Abram are 2 guys you can look at for the future of that linebacker set. Just saying.
Yeah.
Now Abram's going to really be playing close to the line in this group, but we'll see what happens. And now here's the thing. Here's my point, right? If I look at the Jags, their biggest need is right tackle or line in general.
Yeah, line in general.
They need. If I am them, I draft Evan Neal, and then I go overpay Teron Armstead. 16, 17 million a year, and you give your guy your
future quarterback,
your future quarterback of that team, a O-line to protect him, where he is not having to worry if he's going to be broken up in 2 seconds.
Wait, I'm guessing you guys aren't very high on Trevor Lawrence. That's what it sounds like to me.
I'm not real. I'm not high on him if he doesn't have an O-line. I'm not high on any quarterback. But I'm not high on the Jags.
QB needs O-line.
But I will be honest. Some people don't. Some people I talked to really thought that that the Jags are we're gonna be that Trevor Lawrence is gonna be this top 5 quarterback and stuff. Well, here's the thing. And then they hated on him when he was having a rough start to the year. Well, of course you are. You don't have no line to protect you. So we'll see.
And the coaching staff, particularly Darrell Bevell and
Urban Meyer.
And some people really don't
Urban Meyer was terrible,
and some
man.
people want to talk about how Doug Peterson isn't a great hire. Well, no. If you look at what he did without building his roster over there in Philadelphia, you are wrong. This team is under great hands with Doug Peterson. He's going to build his team, and I think they can. I think they'll be a really good team. I think they're going to be this. I don't know if I want to go this far, but I think they could potentially even be the second best team in their division next year. Just saying.
Dude, I want Andrew Norwell.
You want Andrew Norwell? If he can come to the Raiders on a low contract, I'll take him. But if I'm being honest, I wouldn't take him over Mark Glowinski, right? Who is younger, I think 28, 29. And he's been able to stay healthy and stuff. He's a really good. I think he's really good. So I'll be honest. I'll keep it real. But if we can get both guys, that doesn't really help us because we're only really in need of one guard and one tackle. So unless you are willing to unless you want to move on, well, wait a minute. Unless you move Leather with the tackle, which I don't think is going to happen. It shouldn't happen. But if I'm the Raiders, I move him right next to Colton Miller at left tackle, so you have your left side of that O-line set up, and then you go get your right side with Trent Brown and maybe like Mark Lewinsky. Just saying, that's a good ass O-line right there. I don't care.
Mm-hmm. Not bad. All right, should I give my pick for who I would? Okay, so for 11, I mean, quarterback seems like the obvious choice, but if they get Mitchell Trubisky, perhaps, unless there's someone they're really in love with, they could potentially go second round for a quarterback. But quarterback is a possibility. Linebacker is another one because our linebackers, the less said about them, the better. Because it just gonna make me put my beanie back over my face, which I know entertaining to you, but linebacker, quarterback, potentially wide receiver number 2 if they don't get one in free agency as well. They could also be a trade back candidate as well. Like I could see them.
Washington, I really think your team, if I'm being honest, should go and I know it sounds crazy. I know he's coming off a torn ACL, but if you can go get him on like a 2-3 year deal, I think if you can steal Michael Gallup from the Cowboys and make him your wide receiver 2, pair him up with Curtis Samuel and Terry McLaurin, I can already tell. I think you would like that.
I think he would probably sign a 1 year. I think they'd only sign him to a 1 year deal considering the injury and when it occurred. I don't see them. Yeah, for guys like that, it's obviously going to be a 1 year prove it deal because you don't know how they're going to be post injury. So that's just my only gripe. But yeah, Michael Gallup would actually be a pretty good option, and we'd have a number 2. And if Samuel's healthy, he can be our slot. Then we have DeAndre Carter, who can do some razzle-dazzle on offense, but is not overly relied upon like he was this year. And then, of course, Terry McLaurin, wide receiver 1. And hopefully they'll extend him this offseason because, he's one of our pillars. So absolutely must bring him back.
Okay, so for me in the draft, I might go, depends on who's available, best player available, but honestly, I think I'm going to go receiver. Here's why. If you add, let's say we add Allen Robinson, and that's the only receiver we pick up, then if we pick up another guy on a cheap rookie deal, that just is only going to help out our offense more. Like a Drake London or a Burks or even a Chris Olave or Garrett Wilson.
I'd be okay with Garrett Wilson, but I don't know. I don't really think we should draft wide receiver in round 1. We already seen how that worked out.
And if they do get Allen Robinson, chances are they're probably going to go with a speedier option because they'll already have the big body receiver in Allen Robinson. So Drake London would probably not be an option just honestly, because he's more sure.
Honestly, I would be fine with here's why I want Nakobe Dean, right? Because I think Nakobe Dean is your round 1 pick, right? And as Washington mentioned, wait till round 3 and go get your Clemson second receiver, Justin Ross. Fast receiver, runs a 4.3, and that's your round 3 pick.
I think he could pass in the 4th round, though, considering his injury history. I think he'll be a day 3 pick.
But he's projected 4th round.
See, here's my point, right? Because honestly, who wouldn't want a wide receiver core? Honestly, let's think about even past Allen Robinson. If we got like, I'm just gonna say it. Like, imagine we had Brandon Cooks, Allen Robinson, Hunter Renfrow, Justin Ross, Brian Edwards, Tyron Johnson. Because I sure to hell don't want D-Jax back. If we sign that man back,
No, he's retiring, bro.
I really hope he is. I can't. I just can't do it. I really can't. But imagine that wide receiver core, and then you have a running back core. And I know it sounds crazy. I think James White is coming over, but I'm not gonna say too much about it because I know he has connections to Dave Ziegler, and I think he wants it. But imagine you had, and then you had like because I know Ken Drake has a history of injury, so like and Josh Jacobs does too. So imagine Josh Jacobs, James White, and Kenny Drake, and then your tight end spots like David Njoku, Darren Waller, Foster Moreau. Fine with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be nasty offense right there.
Just saying.
Yeah. I like Romero Dubs from Nevada. He's pretty good too. He could be there in the 3rd round.
Who?
Romero Dubs, Nevada. Yeah.
I heard him on. Yeah.
He's pretty nice.
Where do you guys see Matt Corral getting drafted? Do you? I mean, so here's why I'm gonna ask this, right? Here's why I'm gonna connect this, right? Because say Aaron Rodgers and they can't get a deal to get Aaron Rodgers, and imagine the Broncos run with Teddy Bridgewater for one more year, and then you have your next quarterback, Matt Corral. Just say at number 9. Just say.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what I'm gonna state, right? If I'm Broncos, I know it sounds crazy, but I'm not giving up the 9th pick. Here's why. Aaron Rodgers is not going to be here in 3 years. He won't be.
No.
I don't see it at least.
Yeah.
So, in reality, you're giving up everything for 1 year, and let's be honest, he has a history of not being good in the playoffs.
True.
So, honestly, and the more I think about it, and I'm not saying this because I don't want the Denver Broncos to win. It's because I don't think Aaron Rodgers is a winning quarterback in terms of in the playoffs. He can't win in the playoffs his past 10 years. And what makes you think he's going to go to Denver and he's going to, go run through the playoffs with that team? Just saying.
True. I mean, the Broncos do have a pretty good team built around them. It's pretty much quarterbacks that they truly need. I mean, there's other pieces, but yeah.
But let me mention this. What if the Broncos were to draft a Devin Lloyd, a linebacker out of Utah? Imagine they could pair him up with Patrick Surtain in that defense and Bradley Chubb, or even better yet, what if they went like Sauce Gardner?
That'd be crazy.
I wouldn't want to face it. I wouldn't want to face that. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't want to face that.
It's not as far-fetched when you think about it, considering the Broncos will have 2 free agents in Kyle Fuller and Bryce Callahan. So if they're unable to sign one or either of those,
and let's be honest, those guys didn't perform well this season. Well, actually, Kyle Fuller didn't. Bryce Callahan did. So he could be your cornerback, your slot corner. Just saying.
Yes.
But, again, I don't know. I just personally, I don't think that a team should throw their future away for 1-2 good years out of Aaron Rodgers in the regular season, and then to go 1st round exit. Just saying.
True. Because they're probably not going to get the 1st round bye, even with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, they have talent on that team, but they're not getting that 1st round bye.
I like the direction this stream is going, bro. We're at an hour and 44 minutes. We just need to, bro. I think we can last for 2 hours. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, got any topics that we can go over that would ensure that it would reach that?
Well, we can play my next game.
All right.
Would you rather? Sorry.
That should do it.
Would you rather, if you're a GM right now, and you have to build around one of these guys, Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow?
Say it one more time.
So if you're a GM and you want to build around one guy, quarterback franchise of the future, and it's between these two guys: Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow.
I'm going Joe Burrow.
Joe Shiesty.
I think that's an easy choice, Joe Burrow.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to say this when fully healthy. Okay. So let's go back to Deshaun Watson's best year, or before his allegations. Okay.
Yes.
Would you rather build around Josh Allen or Deshaun Watson?
That's a good one.
I think it's a really good one.
That was tough.
Before the allegations, we had no idea.
So yeah. I actually want to say this. So going back to the last question, right? If you are looking pure off talent, Justin Herbert's better. But based off the success, I'll give it to Joe Burrow. But I would rather have Joe Burrow. I think even with less, he could probably do more.
He'd done more, yeah.
Josh Allen or Deshaun Watson, it's a really good question. I don't know if I really don't. It's a really good question. I think Josh Allen, with what he just showed in the playoffs.
I think Josh Allen gets a nod too, yeah. Because he can go pretty far. Yeah.
Yeah, because he could do it. He could do everything that Deshaun can do, but he has more of a strength in his arm.
Yeah.
True.
Okay. So I'm just going to go off rookie quarterbacks, just off my head for a moment. Would you rather build around Mac Jones or Trevor Lawrence? I mean, both quarterbacks.
There's a lot of factors to consider here. For starters, getting the right offensive coordinator and head coach. I feel like Mac Jones would be successful only in a certain system, and the Patriots offered that system.
I hate this. I know. I didn't know who else to compare, but I'm giving that to Trevor Lawrence. I just think I know he didn't perform the best, but I think we all know this deep down. He's probably the most talented quarterback in this class.
And look who we had coaching him this year. That's another thing.
But we can't make this excuse next year because he has Doug Peterson, a Super Bowl winning coach. Just saying.
I mean, he was a Super Bowl winning coach, but they did implode after that. So
yeah, okay.
So I know a lot of people are going to say he won a Super Bowl, but you also have to remember after the Super Bowl, no such luck. But he does have. Well, I don't know if I want to say that he has a great reputation developing quarterbacks, but I definitely think that was probably the best hire the Jaguars could make if they weren't going to get rid of Balky.
Yeah, no,
I think that. And I think the Jaguars should improve as long as they nail the offensive coordinator.
If I'm being honest, they could, if they really wanted to go, they could just go hire Mike McDaniel as their offensive coordinator. They would succeed him heavily, I think, to be honest.
Absolutely, but it's also possible he's going to be the head coach of the Dolphins. I think.
Yeah, he's going to be a head coach. He doesn't want to be an offensive coordinator.
I think Mike McDaniel is the biggest face out there for head coach, to be honest, right now, currently. So.
Yeah, but I think if he's going to be an offensive coordinator, he's just going to stay with the 49ers.
Why would you leave that there?
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, if you want to go win a title, right? And these guys, and only one of these guys have won. I'm just saying. If you want to go win a title right now, 1 year, you got 1 year to do it. Russell Wilson or Matthew Stafford?
Wilson.
It's Wilson. It is.
Obviously. As long as he stays healthy, that's a thing.
No. Listen. I'm just going to say this. In this offense, I'm actually giving him something the Seattle Seahawks have yet to do. I'm giving him an O-line. Just saying. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, beginning of the Russell Wilson era, they did have at least a decent O-line, and that's all they really needed. But, as long as he gets an O-line, absolutely will succeed.
Would you rather own the Eagles or the Jags for the future?
The Jags.
I'm gonna give it to the Jags.
Probably the Jags because they probably have less expectations. The Eagles would probably run you out of town they'll probably run you out of town even if you do succeed.
Listen, the Eagles, they're a lot more controversial, a lot more, I don't know. it's a worse place to live and coach.
And their fan base is rabid.
Oh my god, I wouldn't want to deal with their fucking fan base.
And I'm a Washington football team fan, so imagine what would happen to me. I'm an NFC East rival fan, so yeah, it'd be much worse for me.
Although you might have to hide that. You might have to hide that identity. Just saying, you might get yourself killed.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to Philly, so I don't care.
And if I'm being honest, Philadelphia is a lot older. Their team is a lot older. So just saying, they got to replace more talent.
But also the Jaguars, honestly, you kind of do have to fill around a lot more caps as well. So
honestly, though, I'm not gonna lie. I think there are 3 picks. It has to be a D lineman, has to be a linebacker, and a cornerback, or something in the secondary. I think if you get 3 guys for the future, Jesus, I'm not gonna lie. What the fuck? Why did I put this down? I forgot.
Who would you rather have, DC or Matt Ryan as your starting QB?
DC. I'll give it out. I'll be honest.
Let's hear it.
What's up?
You said, let me say this. I'm going to be honest, and then, yeah.
Oh, I must have said it too quiet. I said I'd rather have Derek Carr. Let me keep it real.
Yeah.
I don't think Matt Ryan gets us to the playoffs if he was on this team this past year.
True.
And honestly, another thing, I think this debate kind of ended during the playoffs. People, if you still believe Ryan Tannehill is better than Derek Carr, you're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah, you're a delusional if you think that.
Because I'm gonna tell you something right now.
That's crazy.
You can trust Derek Carr with that ball more than Ryan Tannehill. And I'm sorry, I don't care if he can run better, because if you think running is a big factor, I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, it's not that it's not an important factor, but it's not the main factor for a quarterback.
Well, and running quarterbacks are more sustainable to get injured.
That's true.
Look at RG3.
Don't remind me of that. Beanie's going down. I'm just kidding.
But, okay. Do you think the Lions make a splash trade with quarterback?
No.
I'll be honest. I mean, do I think it's going to happen? No. But do I think they really need to? Honestly, look at what they did this past year. They competed. And I'm going to tell you something right now. An offense you probably don't want to see is, honestly, Drake London paired up with Amon St. Brown, Russell Wilson, TJ Hawkinson. And honestly, what if
There's a thing with Russell Wilson, though. They're probably not going to have that number 2 overall pick if they trade for Russell Wilson. Like, he's going to command at least a couple firsts.
I don't know. And there was someone mentioned and asked me, would I take Russell Wilson on the team? I mean, I'm not going to lie. I don't think I would, because it's also an extra $15 million, and that would take away from what we have this free agency. So,
True.
I think if I'm the Raiders, I think you stick with Carr for this year, see what happens, and then figure out what the future is. Because I don't think Derek Carr's going to be here in 3 years. So, and actually, he even put out a tweet. I think he even mentioned this. He said if he didn't believe, because I think I sent this to you, Washington, he had put out a tweet. It was a tweet put out that Derek Carr said he wouldn't stick with the Raiders if he didn't believe, if they didn't build around him, and he didn't believe he could win championships. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. Who would you rather have as wide receiver 1? My God, I want to make this tough, but okay. Oh my God. 1 second. Who would you rather have, Devontae Smith or Jalen Waddle? Jalen Waddle. I'll take Jalen Waddle.
I would say Waddle because you could use them in so many other ways.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson?
That's the next question. I'm telling you right now, I'm taking Justin Jefferson. He's a better route runner. He's better with his hands, and this is a knack. And this isn't really much of a knack on Jamar Chase, but let's be honest, he isn't going to kill you with a short route. Let's be honest, he isn't. He doesn't do that. He's just a deep threat. That's what he is.
True.
Justin Jefferson, you got to be able. Let's be honest. You can't. I would rather not go up. I would rather go up against Jamar Chase than Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
I think Justin Jefferson's a better receiver. He's, to me, call me crazy.
Crazy.
I would rather have Justin. I think Justin Jefferson might be getting up there in the same tier as Tyreek Hill. He just put up 3,000 yards in 2 years with Kirk Cousins.
Very true.
Because he did this year. Well, he did 1,600 yards with Sean Mannion and Kirk Cousins. I mean, imagine you replaced Tyreek with Justin Jefferson. I honestly think Justin Jefferson might put up 2,000 yards.
He'll hit the gritty.
What? He'll hit with the gritty? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, he's one of my favorite receivers, and he's not even on the Raiders. I think he's really good. People really told me that Justin Jefferson wasn't better than Jamar Chase. Come on. If you're a GM and you're choosing your wide receiver 1, are you taking Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson?
And let's be honest, the Bengals have other receivers as well that kind of outshadow Jamar. Like Tyler Boyd, CJ Uzomah.
T. Higgins, who has better hands.
T. Higgins, yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just kind of. Where do y'all think Matt Corral's going to go?
Second round.
Late first round.
I think it's a first
Mid to late first round.
It's more of like, where does he get drafted? Because does Washington take a chance on him?
Perhaps.
Probably not. I don't know. I'm not sure how they feel about him.
Does Denver take a shot at it? Because that would be crazy. I think that'd be pretty good. I don't know. Just me personally, I'm not really taking this. I'm not really just going to trade my future away for this man. I'm sorry. I really wouldn't. Like, why would you? My question to anyone, because when you talk about you want Aaron Rodgers, and then you talk about you would trade anything. So you're telling me you would trade your entire future away, pretty much, your future draft picks, your picks, all this young talent that you could draft, and you would trade it all away for a guy that's going to be there for 2-3 years? Just a thought. I know Aaron still got it, but I'm not doing it.
Well, here's the thing you also have to consider as well. The offensive coordinator of the Packers is there, so there are obviously those dots that connect. So I'm not sure.
Okay. Who would you rather have be your head coach of your team, of your next franchise? Mike McDaniel or Kellen Moore?
Mike McDaniel.
Is that even a question?
Okay. Ow. Man. Who? I'm trying to think. I'm just thinking of questions to ask. Okay. Who would you rather build around for the future? Tua or Baker?
Well, I think we know what we have in Baker. We don't really know what we have in Tua. So for that reason, probably Tua.
Is that a bot?
What the fuck? Wait a minute. What the hell? Hey. What? I stream. We're just playing this. I just wanted to put this up on the chat just so when I look back on this video, I know what I'm looking for. Wow. We hit the 2-hour mark. But if you haven't, for anyone who continues to come through and check our show out, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, what are you doing? Continue hitting the subscribe. Like everything up. Help us grow. Okay. You can find me at lvraiders.media. Washington, announce your new name that will be coming up here, actually. What is it? When are you announcing?
Well, right now it's right now it's WTF.punk_. And on the 16th, it'll be some form of Commander Punk or Punk Commander, depending on the fan vote on Instagram. So if you
go vote.
If you want to vote on that, WTF.punk_ is my Instagram username currently.
Okay, I'll go. You could find me on Instagram at SG_King209.
Yeah. We will also be posting on sports_source2. That's where our actual page is for this. Tonight was a very good show.
Yeah, great show.
So, as everyone has voted, yes, Tuesday will be the next show of draft talk, where I'm not going to announce the name yet. You guys will see it on your feed. Pop on through. I'm going to aim for 7 p.m. Eastern or something. I'll discuss it with the team. We'll get a time set in stone, and we'll see you then. Very excited to continue this podcast. And if you want me to continue, I need likes, I need subscribes. I need to grow. I need growth here, guys. So work with us. As we already announced,
constructive criticism in the comments as well, or just troll work.
Give us,
or any comments is greatly appreciated, except the trolls.
Yeah, just no troll comments.
Yeah, no trolls.
We will probably discuss NFL draft, and we will come up with other storylines because, you know what? Honestly, if we did like a round 1 mock draft, that'd probably last us an hour. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. That lasts forever.
And we'd have to prepare for that one as well. We'd have to do that beforehand before we actually.
We'll discuss just prospects in general, and then we'll do an actual mock draft. We'll aim possibly next Saturday, but we'll have to talk about this behind the scenes. So we'll see. Thank you for anyone who popped through. Adrian Talk Show. Go subscribe to him. Help everyone out. Hope to see y'all another time. This was a great show, and we will continue doing every Tuesday, Thursday, and possibly Saturdays, as long as the team wants to continue. This is the busiest time of the year. Actually, before we even head off, Sebastian, I want you to. Where do you think the Raiders' defense will be next year? Rated next year. What do you believe?
As far as the rank?
Yeah.
Well, with Patrick Graham, the sky's the limit, but realistically, I'm going
top 10?
At least a top 20 defense or better is definitely an upgrade.
We were top 20 in most rankings except yards given up, I think, whatever. We were really good this year, right? I think we'll be a top 10 to 15 defense this year.
Top 15, yeah.
And then offensively, it depends on what we get. If we were to go get like Brandon Cooks and Allen Robinson, just mark it in. We'll be a top 10 offense. And
yeah,
I do believe our red zone offense will be better.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. That's what was killing us. That we couldn't score in the red zone. And depends on who we hire as OC too.
Yeah.
That factors in.
Yeah. I know we already interviewed the one Browns tight end coach or whatever, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Actually, let me make sure there's no developing news on this.
Washington, what do you think your defense is going to be and offense next season?
Depends on if we keep our coordinators. If we keep Jack Del Rio with much of the personnel we already have, I expect Jack Del Rio to continue utilizing zone defense, and our man coverage corners being wasted, and blitzing could be either an inconsistent thing or a non-existent thing, depending. I'm really not sure if Jack Del Rio is gonna help to improve upon last year. I know there will be returns from injury next year as well, particularly Chase Young, but it really depends on if he utilizes more man coverage and blitzing, which if he doesn't, then I expect out best maybe a middle of the pack defense. As for offense, well, we have Scott Turner as our offensive coordinator, and I don't know what to make of him. Like, his play calling's not great, but he also doesn't have a lot of great pieces on offense either. So it's really kind of hard to get a read on him right now. So that's my 2 cents on the coordinators.
If I'm being honest, I think you guys probably your best fit as a DC is Vic Fangio. To be honest,
Vic Fangio.
Probably a good chance he wouldn't get hired away after a year or two as well. So yeah, that works.
So what do you feel about your owner? You think he's gonna have to sell his team here in a second? He needs to sell his team. He's guilty.
I hope so.
He's guilty. I don't care what anyone says. He's guilty. Guilty as charged.
No.
Guilty.
Then again, remember, I'm a Washington football team fan. We're used to misery when it comes to stuff like that. So yeah, I'm not. I hope for the best, expect the worst. That's my motto with the team.
Yeah.
You know what my aim is? My aim is to go get like season tickets. Not this upcoming. No, you know what? I want to go to at least 2 games this next year. I really do. I want to go watch Patrick Graham and
Josh McDaniels. Yeah.
I want to see this.
That'd be badass.
I might be going to the Lions game. That'd be really
Is that
cool.
the home game for us?
No, it's at
On the
Detroit,
way?
which I'm actually okay with because I live closer to Detroit.
Oh, that's nice.
So, I would hope that Lion fans don't roar at me.
Bruh.
I haven't had Bengal fans do any nonsense. Not yet. Do we get Bengals next year? No, I don't think we do.
No.
And before we end this off, I would think, depending on what we do this free agency, I think we'll at least split with Kansas City next year. Because look at what Patrick Graham did to Patrick Mahomes this year. He had his number. They held Kansas City to 23 and forced 2 turnovers. Just saying. But next show, I think what we'll do is probably go all draft talk. We can probably talk this behind the scenes. Maybe we'll figure out something else to move the NFL draft talk a little more back, because I think what we can do is do little mini clips, like shows less than an hour, if we want to bring up maybe like 4 to 5 names, and we'll give analysis on them if we want during the and then we'll go live maybe the week of free agency, maybe even 4 times if we can push it. I don't know. We'll figure it out. You know?
Yeah.
But guys, our plan is to do this long term. Everyone hit the subscribe, help us grow. This team is run by like a great team, and I'm not even talking about just giving credit. I think this credit needs to be given to the whole team. We've pulled up some great shows so far. Continue viewing these videos, help us grow. And then if y'all really want to help, give our link out on your channels. Shout us out. That would really help. This was our best show, I think, to be honest. But we'll see. We're only going to continue getting better with this, growing, and I'm very happy with today's show. I will see you guys here in a bit, and I want you guys, if you can. So I'm going to send up the link on my end, and I'll shout you guys out. If watching it, if you want to make your own post on this, but I'll give you guys all the link to put up on your channels or your Instagrams, and we'll send it out to your friends and stuff. Everyone just send it out, and let's just continue growing. I'll see you guys in a bit.
All right, bye.
Peace.